I do love M. Night Shyamalan. So we'll start with Split, and then I'll talk about 3 others of recent cinema releases that I've seen. This will all be spoiler free, so if you just want to know whether or not I recommend it, this is a pretty good place to be. Split is about a guy who has 23 personalities, and obviously straight away we're dealing with a subject that deals with mental health. And I think personally, it handled it quite well. James McAvoy is definitely the driving force behind Split, the way he plays all of these different characters. I don't think we see all 23, we see maybe 6 or 7 of them. And especially when he goes from playing a 9-year-old boy to being this fashionista to this kind of maniacal character who then kidnaps these girls. He does it so well and the transitions are spot on, it doesn't feel forced. I do think the plot could have been slightly different. I just think the situation McAvoy's character found himself in didn't really allow us to see enough of those personalities. I didn't feel like it was perfect, but I still enjoyed it from start to finish. I do love M. Night. It's not as good as The Visit, but I would definitely recommend it. Guess who finally saw Moana? I had no interest in seeing this, but then I watched a bunch of reviews, and basically every review was saying it's one of Disney's finest films in a very long time, so I thought, right, I'm going to see what all the fuss is about. Honestly, I liked it. I thought Moana's adventure with Maui was really great, and it certainly has a kind of attractive vibe to it. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I think it's maybe just because it's slightly different to what generally Disney usually puts out, that I thought, yeah, this is quite compelling and fascinating. The colour schemes are gorgeous, especially when we have the ocean. The blues are so captivating and so bright and lovely. The music is great. I think my favourite song in the entire thing is I Am Moana, which I think is also called Song of the Ancestors. That's probably the most captivating element about the music. I liked it. It will never ever be my favourite Disney. I don't feel any particularly strong attraction to the characters or the story itself. But yeah, I can see the appeal. A Monster Calls is one that I had massively high hopes for. Now, I haven't read the book by Patrick Ness, so I can't compare it, but as a film on its own, I thought it was okay. I never give star ratings, but if I were, I would say 3 out of 5. It's about a young boy whose mother is suffering from cancer, so he has this mechanism that is a giant tree, which very much reminds me of a slightly odd version of Groot. And that's kind of his fantasy, his escape, and this tree comes to visit him at night and helps him cope through this in very odd ways. The tree is kind of a good guy, but kind of a bad guy. He's quite forceful in the way that he goes about doing things, which works. It does work. But I kind of feel like the tree was almost an unnecessary part of the story, which makes no sense because that's the main thing about the story, but I didn't feel like it added that much to the emotional journey. However, I do think as the story progressed, it became more important and got a lot better. It's a great coping mechanism for the boy. I think it's a fantastic family film as well, because I think it's a great way to help, well, anybody who's going through, you know, if their relatives are ill and they've got imminent deaths and things in their lives. It's a great way to kind of make them feel like they're not alone, but I think it could be a great teaching mode for young children who unfortunately have to go through such things. So I don't have any complaints, really. I just didn't think it lived up to these exceptionally high hopes that I had created for it. Also, it kind of had a Tales of Beetle the Bard vibe about it when the tree was storytelling, which I think is great for the younger audiences. Yes, I would recommend it. The acting was spot on. The plot was fine. The tree is not what I expect, but it's good. It's okay. And lastly, the one that everybody says everybody has to watch, it's La La Land, and let's face it, it's going to win all of the Oscars. It's already won so many awards, it's going to win so many more. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are fantastic. It's about an aspiring actress and this guy who wants to kind of set up his own career in a different way, and they meet and it's a little love story, which ordinarily would make me kind of... But it's so good, and I think the reason it's good is because you feel like you're going into the past, back a couple of decades in Hollywood. The cinematography is spot on. The story was good, the story was fine, but I don't think it was anything unique, but the way the story was told is what makes La La Land a cut above everything else that's been out this year. And the colours, there's a lot of kind of dusky tones going across it, which makes it kind of soft and magical. And then the camera work, oh my goodness, the camera angles are insane, and just the quick motions, it's fantastic. Oddly enough, I didn't think the music in this musical was that exciting. There was one song kind of near the end, this doesn't spoil it, it's a solo for Emma Stone and I can't remember the name of the song. That for me, I thought that song was particularly stunning, but for the most part I thought the music was fairly standard, fairly average. But the film as a whole was just so beautiful to watch and just top quality cinema. So out of the 4 recent releases, I enjoyed all 4 of them. I've got to say Split's got to be the top one, then La La Land, then Moana, and then A Monster Calls. Very, very excited about some of the films that are coming out soon. We have Rings, which is out I think on the 3rd of February, Lego Batman movie, and there's this weird film coming out about the origins of McDonald's. Is it Michael Keaton who's in that? That's going to be a weird one. If you've seen any of these films, of course, do let me know what you think of them, and also if there are any films that are coming out you think I should see or that you're particularly looking forward to, do let me know, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye!